What's the deal? You got your favorite YouTuber, Big Nina Boom, back at it with the 1992 Bloods and Crips Truce. You feel me? This is when they tried to do the peace treaty, cuz when niggas was trying to spread the word. You see what I'm saying? This is some powerful information I'm finna drop on y'all. For those who haven't seen this, check this 1992 Bloods and Crips peace treaty. Let's go.
I'm T. Rogers, Executive Vice President, National Spokesperson for the American Program. I'm Batman. Batman.
Okay, number one. What was it? We'll start from left to right. What was it that led to the bonding, the truce, the peace, whatever you want to call it?
Well, what led to it? What happened was, check this out. Our program has been in effect for 3 years, 3.5 years. And our program deals with certain components. One of the components that we did.
Hold on, cuz, you feel me? Sometimes, like, nigga, you hesitate when you get your opportunity, nigga will just cut you off and jump in. There's some serious shit going on. For those who look at that, be like, damn, he just cut that nigga off like, nigga, disrespect. He probably brought all them niggas to the table. So, gotta understand, cuz. I don't want nobody jumping into the beginning of this reaction. Be like, damn, that nigga just shortstop, cuz. Nah, we ain't gonna do all that. So, let's just watch it and ride out. There's some serious shit. 1992, nigga, Bloods and Crips, Truce. Yeah, let's go.
With his peace. Jim's house is a half an hour ride from any neighborhood, okay? Coming up that hill, man, you listen to the right music, you calm down. This is neutral ground. Nobody's turf is up here. You know what I'm saying? So when you come up here, you got a different mindset. That's one of the reasons. We worked on that. We had 28 different gang sets that is affiliated with the program. And then we said, well, now we've done it this far. What can we do? One of the brothers from our program said, well, look, we got 4 of the major housing projects in Watts, and we got them together, 4 of the most notorious housing projects in Watts together. That would be a hell of a start. That was his assignment that he took on. That was his project. This was long before the uprising or the rebellion or even the riot.
What I'm asking is, apparently there's a pretty widespread general peace going on. What caused that?
Here we go again. We'll start at the beginning. One of the things, there's no rehabilitation in incarceration. And one of the things that we learned by being locked up is that we got to stick together. When a race war or a race riot goes down inside those correctional institutions, that's a laugh. That everything that is not black goes against black. So the brothers have learned to stick together. That is a temporary truce.
And I'm going to just pause right there. You know what the brother just said right there, cuz was so solid to me, because it's like, at the end of the day, homie, blacks stick with blacks when we in jail. You understand what I'm saying? And this has nothing to do with like real racial hate towards another race, but in actuality, race is gonna stick with their own race. You smelling what I'm selling? And with that being said, this is that sector where people don't talk about how niggas be really cool in jail with the ops or with the enemy, because black is black and don't nothing come after that. All right, let's go.
A temporary peace between those warring gangs. That was one of the things that happened out in the streets, because it happened in the pen, it could happen in the streets. Now, long before the King incident, Latasha Harlins. See, you have to deal with a 2-tier system of haves and have-nots. When we can't stand up, just stand up. When we stand up, we get questioned. What are we doing? What are you standing up for? That's a doggone shame in America.
Look, ask Batman here. What are the difficulties going to be in making this thing last? He called it a temporary peace. Is it temporary? Do you think it's going to be...
No, you misunderstood what I said. I said inside the jailhouse, it's a temporary peace.
Okay, well, let's talk about the...
Now, out on the streets, it will last as long as those brothers... Now, let me do this, man. First and foremost, we look at it differently. It is not a truce or a peace treaty. It is a bonding of black men who have stood up and came together. And when they came together, peace has happened to be one of the things on the agenda. See, we have been conditioned and trained to dislike another brother. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the color that he wears or where he lives. 20-some odd years of conditioning has taught us that. If you ask some of them young brothers that's very active in gangbanging, you ask them, why don't you like a Crip? Or why don't you like a Blood? His answer will be this. Oh, he sounds like Scooby-Doo.
Wow. This is 1992. We watching right here, fam. This is 1992. If you ask a nigga that's the enemy from your hood, or you ask, why, if somebody asks you why you don't like him, it would not be because of him personally. You understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't be that person personally. It will be the hood he represent. You see what I'm saying? This is powerful, cuz. Let me tell y'all how imperative it is that y'all really watch this and grow and learn from this, homie. And if you youngsters watching this, you'll get a better insight. I'm not saying, nigga, if you got a problem with a nigga, get the nigga. You see what I'm saying? But all this going out knocking niggas down for free and knocking down anybody that represent that, them days should be over with, cuz. We should have abolished that shit a long time ago, cuz. It should be about, nigga, you get your man and that's it. If you get somebody else that's not your man, now it's consequences. Bet you a lot of y'all won't be able to survive in that type of context. Let's go.
So when you start to ask some of the OGs what happened back in the days, they know the answers. Now, I'll give you this also. When the pleas went out from what was supposed to have been the black leaders in the community, i.e. the churches, the politicians, and all of those people, nobody stopped to listen to them. They are not our leaders. The leadership comes from the grassroots and the OGs. So when the OGs say, hey, look, this has got to stop, then the younger homeboys respect the OGs and they say, okay.
Let me ask you, how difficult is it going to be to make this thing stay, last?
It ain't gonna be difficult.
Why?
Because the brothers are tired, man. We tired of going through. Can't go where we want to go. We tired of killing each other. Period. Really.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
You know.
So it's not going to be difficult? Is that what you're saying?
It's not going to be difficult, man. Because everybody wants the same things.
Now understand this on a realistic level. Good cops, bad cops. Good gang members, bad gang members. Good ex-gang members, bad ex-gang members. So it's good and bad and everything. So that's on a realistic level.
You think it's going to last?
Yeah, I know it's going to last.
What tells you that?
Because we be getting out there getting with them.
And what are you hearing when you get out there to promote this thing?
What do I hear? They want peace, they want love from other gangs.
Why do they want peace and love now as opposed to 6 months ago, 2 years ago? Why now?
Why? Well, the reason why, because 6 months ago, it was like everybody was tripping on this color thing, the red rag, the blue rag. But now, it ain't about colors no more. It's about brothers coming back together as one and eliminating the colors. We don't need colors no more.
You know, what I'm trying to say, what is it?
Let me piggyback on that, man. Let me do this. And see, I'll be very honest with you, all right? That's Ray, that's right. How you doing? Yeah. Now, two things. When we inside them penitentiaries and we having them gang meetings and we out there and we ask them brothers, do you want to be successful? They say yes. Because if anybody out here that don't want to be loved, raise your hand. No hand goes up. Everybody wants to be loved. Those are two common denominators that we can all center in on. Your question, here's your answer. We've always wanted peace. He doesn't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to die. I don't want to be humiliated in front of my baby or my lady. But through the uprising, through the rebellion, we've got a chance to say, hey, look, we came together under this cause. We can make this thing work. It was an emergency. It was an urgency that it was an emotion that ran wild. Now that we've calmed down and we're more logical thinking, we can make this work. It can happen.
Can I talk to you? Okay. As I'm sure you've heard, the police are saying there's no way this thing's going to make it. No way it's going to last. It's going to go to pieces.
If you heard what he just said, the police said that there's no way it's going to last and there's no way that it's going to make it. Y'all want to know why? The police never wanted the peace treaty to ever happen. They never wanted truce between the Bloods and the Crips. This was something that the police figured out long time ago. If we kept them killing each other, we forever would have a job. We would have overtime, bigger budgets. Bad homies, cuz, like, nigga, pay attention to this documentary, homie. The police wanted this shit to happen and to continue to happen. That was the only way they could grow in numbers. They are the biggest gang in America. Don't ever get it twisted. Let's go.
Days, weeks, whatever. What do you think?
Shit, I think it's gonna last. You know, our brothers tired of killing and dying and having to starve and hunger for their kids, you know. And we feel we got a program right here that can help us get out of it. It's a positive program, you know, we're doing successful. And I believe in it. You know, I believe in what's going on out there with our brothers. You know, we tired.
What made you want to get out of it?
I've been wanting to get out of it for about 3 years, 4 years. I got family. I got 3 kids. You know, I'm 24. I'm a young man with kids. It's hard to get a job. You know, it's things coming down. I've been locked out. I've been shot. I've been through the worst. You know, well, I'm tired. I'm ready for the better now. You know, I'm tired of the worst. And I got a wife, you know, and kids. So, you know, she helped me get over this borderline.
Okay, you got a wife and a kid and you're 24. What about the guys who are 15, 16, aren't as old as you? Don't have the same commitment to a family. What's gonna?
Well,
why are they gonna go along with it?
Well, somewhat that's kind of what I'm here for. I'm like a big brother, you know. See, I have little brothers, little sisters, you know, and I go out and try to, you know, bring positive things to the neighborhood, help clean up some of this area. Because one time I was one of the negative, bad, messing up, writing on the walls, you know, carrying guns, and you know, now I done changed my life, and I want this for my people. You know, they see I'm doing positive, I'm changing from the, you know, from the worst to the better. So, you know, they want that. They say I'm doing good, you know, so that's what they want to have.
What's going to be the hardest part of making it stick? Making it stick.
Let me ask you a question.
Wait. Okay. Yeah,
There's a component here that's missing. It's funny because when you do interviews, you get it all from the police side, and you get it all from the opposition side. We've sat down and we've met with that's High T, that's Ron.
How you doing?
We met with the police. We've had 2 meetings with the police, with Crash, Southborough, Valleyville. We've met with Newton Street, and the sentiments of the police. And I'll be very honest with you, is that they're scared. Now, desperate people do desperate things. We're scared on this side of the table because we've been victimized severely. And now they're scared on the other side of the table because within people, there's power. See, now that power can be negative power or positive power. When I sat down and I talked with the police, you know what I found out? That they cut, they bleed, they cry, they die, they laugh, they love, just like we do. They have dreams and admirations just like we have. And that they're discriminated against in the own LAPD. That the black officers, when the uprising jumped off, they were pulled off the streets because the white officers didn't know what they were going to do. And there's not a lot of advancement for black officers inside the police department. And when they walk around in their civilian clothes, they get stopped just like we do. And when they're not in black and white cars, they get pulled over just like we do. It ain't got nothing to do with a cap, a jerry curl, or any of that. If your skin is darker than blue, they want to know who you are.
It's going to be the greatest benefit to the community where the gangs exist in.
The greatest benefit? First and foremost, there's a new leadership. We are the new leadership. We understand politics. There's those of us that are 18 years old and older. We will launch a massive vote campaign. There will be no more political pimping. There will be no more preachers that can pimp off in the neighborhood. There was a time when the church and the reverend, the preacher was the leader of the black community because everybody was in church. A lot of these brothers don't go to church.
Oh, yes, sir. Let me tell y'all a quick story real fast, homie. I went to a church one time, right? And the pastor said, if you're not a member of his church, don't ask him to pray for you. You know, when you became a member of his church, he was giving away $5 Starbucks cards just for the membership. Now tell me that ain't pimping. All right, let's go.
So there's a whole new change in here. When I sit down and I talk talk to my 3-year-old daughter, I say, who's your favorite hero? You know what she says? She says, you are. So Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and any other those people who don't live in our communities are not our role models. The politicians and preachers are not our leaders. And it's funny